Welcome to the 43rd Annual Commencement Exercises for the Class of 2013 at Blackstone-Millville Regional High School. Would everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would everyone please remain standing for a moment of silence? Thank you. At this time, the high school band, under direction of Mr. Ronald Bebo, will perform the Star-Spangled Banner. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the principal, Mr. Michael E. Dudek.
School Committee Chairman, Mr. Chaplin, members of the school committee, Superintendent, Ms. Shaver-Hood, honored guests, faculty, friends, and the graduating high school class of 2013. Good evening, and welcome to the 43rd commencement exercises for Blackstone Millville Regional High School. I first would like to thank all those who made this event possible tonight. Special thanks needs to go out to Mr. Ducharme for organizing the graduation ceremony. Thank you to Mr. Bacon and his crew who worked tirelessly to set up the graduation arena and reception area. Mrs. Salome and Mrs. Rondo were a tremendous help in preparing the graduation program, the diplomas, and virtually everything else. We also need to thank our high school wind ensemble and Mr. Bebo for the music conducted tonight. Seniors, soon-to-be graduates, I thank you for this honor to speak at this very special occasion in your lives as you make the transition from being high school seniors to BMR alumni. You and I have something in common. When I accepted this position as principal, I started a new journey in my life. I was anxious, yet excited to see what was out there for me. I had enough confidence in myself to know that I had the ability to be successful and to fulfill not only the requirements of the position that I held, but the expectations I had of myself. As you became seniors, you realized that now you had greater expectations and you were beginning to think more about what was ahead of you after high school. This journey you now take is one that can be full of anxiety, but I know many of you are excited about what is to come. Enjoy the next journey in your life and know that you are prepared. Look at where you are now. You're all amazing young men and women who care for so much in this world. I can only smile as I think of the highlights of your high school years and of all the possibilities that lie before you. Graduation is bittersweet as we adults wistfully say goodbye and you eagerly say hello to college, to work, to new experiences and new friends. Some of you I know cannot wait to get away from home and high school, while some of you cannot see yourself away from the comfort of your closest friends, family, school, and homes. But it is time for you to move on. This year, from the class of 2013, 78% of our students will continue their education in either a 2- or 4-year college program. 15% of our students are prepared and ready to enter the workforce, and 7% will enter the military. We are all proud of you. I've truly enjoyed working with you this year. You have delighted me with your many achievements in and out of the classroom. You have shared your disappointments as well as the good times of your lives with me. You have made me laugh a lot with your marvelous sense of humor. You have impressed and wowed me with your insight and discussions. You have amazed me by the demanding schedules you have kept. You have been a special group to me, so I'm thrilled to be standing here as your principal for this special occasion. It was very difficult for me to think about what I was going to write and speak to you today. Before the evening ends, and you continue to go through those doors as alumni, I would just like to speak to you personally as students of BMR. You, class of 2013, will realize just how unique and wonderful BMR is when you meet others and hear about their high schools. Over the past year, you have heard me say, in one form or another, push yourself, strive for excellence, show respect for others, never regret anything you have done, learn from your mistakes, and be good to each other. If I were to be a part of your futures, I would continue to say the same things because these sayings are important to me and are the cornerstones of life. But in your futures, I will be a memory, hopefully a good one. So let me leave you with just some more advice. I'd like to be able to guarantee a good life for you, but that too is beyond me. You will now be in charge of your lives, and the lessons and guidance we have given you should hold you in good stead. Do not forget everything that your parents and guardians have taught you. Do not let go of the values and fundamentals that the faculty and staff of BMR has helped you develop. When things get tough, rely on the lessons learned from those around you. Those qualities you acquired will help you through those tough times and will help strengthen you create a great life. I see before me young, confident adults. I know that you will do great things, and I am so proud of you. You all have my permission to come back and visit BMR anytime you like. I have one more piece of advice for you. As you look into the future, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Finally, I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the future. Dare to dream big things and don't be afraid to take risks. In conclusion, I want to leave you today with a fun and worthy quote from Dr. Seuss. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your way, and you know what you know. You are the guy who'll decide where to go. So, to the charges of BMR, graduating class of 2013, I thank you for all that you have done for the school and wish you the very best in the future. Congratulations.
I would now like to call up our valedictorian, Ms. Jennifer Morrison.
Welcome, school committee members, Superintendent Shaverhood, Principal Dudek, Vice Principal Ducharme, teachers, family, friends, and class of 2013. We are here for two reasons tonight. One is to celebrate the end. Our high school experiences are drawing to a close, and this evening we will watch the sunset, kind of, as graduates of the class of 2013. On the other hand, we are also celebrating an extraordinary beginning. Crossing the stage tonight may feel a lot like crossing the finish line, but in reality, this is also a major starting point. It is one of the few moments in our lives, perhaps the only one quite like it, when we can enjoy such a beautiful view in all directions. Consider the Greek god Janus. Often depicted as having two faces, Janus stands at a gate, looking both back into the past and forward to the future. To the Greeks, this is a symbol of new beginnings. In fact, it is a lot like where we stand today. High school graduation is a time to reminisce and also a time to look forward to the future. In September of 2009, we faced our first big starting line as we entered our freshman year of high school. Like most beginnings, this one was scary at first. For those of us who still hadn't reached our growth spurt, we were up against students twice our height. And all of us struggled to find the right classroom, on the right floor, at the right time. Of course, this is not to mention walking on the right side of the hallway. But after a while, we all got a little taller, a little braver, and a good deal smarter. And before we knew it, high school didn't seem so bad. We joined after-school clubs, tried out for sports, and started actually using our lockers instead of just stuffing every book we owned into our backpacks. By sophomore year, we had it all figured out. Someone finally explained to us that our school is just a big square with a staircase at each corner, and we learned that the famous pool on the roof is just a myth used by upperclassmen to explain the buckets in the second-floor hallway. I think most of you would agree when I say that the 4 years we've spent in high school have helped define who we are today. When we came into the 9th grade, we had a lot left to learn, and not all of it was academic. Somewhere between memorizing the quadratic formula and reciting Newton's third law, we began to make discoveries of our own. Who do we hang out with? How do we spend our free time? What are we passionate about? Gradually, the answers to these questions could no longer be based on peer pressure and popularity, but rather who we were as individuals. In middle school and elementary school, our identities were often decided for us. We molded ourselves to fit what others saw. But when we entered high school, we had more control. We chose our own classes and decided what we valued most. High school was a place where we could grow. As Mr. DeWolf would say, it was a place where we changed from a bunch of annoying teens into a group of more or less responsible, relatively mature, and very independent young adults. In middle school, we played instruments and joined sports teams. But in high school, we became musicians and developed into athletes. The notebook doodlers transformed into artists, and the keepers of journals became poets. We became who we are today, and we achieved the things we achieved because we learned how to lead ourselves. No one else could pass high school for us. We weren't given awards for honor roll or art or sports, we earned them. Of course, none of this was possible without the support and inspiration of family, friends, teachers, and coaches. I would not be standing here today if it weren't for my parents, grandparents, sisters, and teachers. This is where we became who we are, and these are the people, family, classmates, and educators who helped us along the way. Everyone in this room has a share of that pride. B.F. Skinner, a famous psychology professor from Harvard University, once said, "Education is what survives when what is learned has been forgotten." In just a few short minutes, each of us will step up to receive a diploma, which is actually just a roll of fancy paper with your name on it. The true value lies in what we have already been given. Education is more than just attending school 6 hours a day, 180 days a year. Education is something that liberates you. It gives us the ability to learn from our past, understand the present, and create a better future. It opens doors, and it is something that no one can ever take away from you. When we move on from here, whether it be to college, the military, or the workforce, things are going to change. The world is going to keep on turning, and we're going to have to keep up. We might forget the number of beats in a Shakespearean sonnet, or that composing an inverse function gives us a solution of x. But through education, we have been given the power to face our future with confidence and make a difference in our world. We could be the ones behind the changes we see. We can put in the hard work. We have the talent. We have the drive. We have the passion, and now we also have the future.
Now it is time to introduce our class salutatorian, Ms. Anna Franchosa.
Good evening, Superintendent Schaefer-Hood, School Committee, Principal Dudek, Vice Principal Ducharme, teachers, family, friends, and the class of 2013. Can you believe that after 2,340 days, or 14,040 hours, or 842,400 minutes, or 50,544,000 seconds spent in school, that we have finally made it to graduation? We have come a long way since our cardboard kindergarten graduation caps to real caps and gowns. It seems like we are frequently told throughout our lives to follow our dreams, especially during occasions like graduation. But what is the mix between dreams and the realities of the real world? Is there a point when people stop dreaming and focus on reality? According to a study published in Forbes magazine, 65% of people are unsatisfied with their jobs. If all of those people followed their dreams and accomplished them, you would think that they'd be more content with their jobs. At some point, they must have forgotten the advice we've all been told countless times and focused instead on the limitations of the real world. Reality sets limitations on us that we have to work with or overcome to achieve our goals. For instance, if anyone told you during freshman year at BMR would have its first football team in 2013, most people would think that person was joking. But through fundraising and determination, many people in the class of 2013 were able to participate in the first ever BMR football team. So take this determination with you throughout life and use it to accomplish other dreams you may have. We have attained success in order to be here today, but it definitely wasn't always easy. William Shakespeare once said, "We know what we are, but know not what we may be." Throughout high school, we learned who we were. Some of us, including myself, learned we would never be professional athletes. I'll never forget the time in 10th grade gym class when I tried to serve a volleyball and hit Nick Hurd in the back of the head. He was even on my own team. Many of us discovered that they were hard workers, creative, and kind. We even learned to think outside of the box, especially during Mr. McCormick's classes, where we discovered that hitting the inside of the VCR with a hammer does not fix it. But it was a creative idea to try. Now we must take these things we know and use them to help us find out who we can become in the future. Graduation is a critical moment in our lives because we must take with us these qualities we discovered we had and bring them to the real world in order to achieve our dreams. None of us know for certain who or even where we will be years from now. During our freshman year of high school, we all knew we were going to take most of the same standardized classes, but now our future is uncertain. We must embrace this uncertainty and use it to our advantage. Take risks and discover new passions. Yes, we will all fail at some point in our lives, but take those failures and learn from them. If you learn at least one thing, it will become a successful experience. Dr. Seuss wrote, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You are the one who will decide where to go." There are so many options open to us now, including college, the military, and the workforce. Sometimes it can be daunting deciding on which path to take to help you accomplish your dreams. Just remember that as long as you bring determination and a great work ethic, that you can accomplish almost anything you set your mind to. Everything is in our hands now. We have to be the ones who decide what to do with our lives. Many people have helped us get to where we are today. I would like to thank my parents and family because I would not be standing up here today without their support. One special person who influenced many of our lives is Mr. Buddy Bebo. Recently, I heard him say that effort is what counts most. Effort will always pay off in the long run, even in ways that you least expect it. So why not put forth some effort and set off to achieve some realistic dreams? Even if you don't achieve them, the experiences you will have along the way will be rewarding for any effort you put into trying to reach your goal. Because life is about the journey, not the destination. So instead of giving you the same old advice about always following your dreams, I'll leave you with this. Find a balance in life between trying to achieve your dreams and the realistic limitation life puts in front of you. As George Sheehan said, success means having the courage, the determination, and the will to become the person you were meant to be. Congratulations and good luck to the class of 2013. I can't even begin to imagine all the things we will achieve in the future.
Thank you, Jen and Anna. We're going to hear a music selection played by the high school band and sung by the talented senior, Carrie Gross. The song is called "Don't You Forget About Me." Thank you. Oh. Thank you. There are a few teachers who are retiring from BMR this year, and I would like to quickly thank them for their time here. Mrs. Morell, a recent class advisor, will be greatly missed for her parts in being the backbone in the Wellness and PE department of BMR, as well as a friend that students can always turn to for help. There's also Mr. Arnold, who was class advisor for our class of 2013, and was an absolutely integral part of our success as a class, and I, along with many others, will know him as a friend who will truly do anything for anyone. And then there's Mr. Campopiano, who not only led an English department, but also was the perfect National Honor Society advisor, for he exemplifies all the great quality the organization upholds. Let's have a round of applause for those three teachers. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Mark Campopiano as our featured speaker.
I always enter my classroom with this greeting. Hello. Thank you, and good morning to you. Good evening, town dignitaries, school committee members, Superintendent Shaver-Hood, Principal Dudek, Vice Principal Duchamp, family, friends, students, and the class of 2013. On September 18, 2007, computer science professor Randy Porsche stepped in front of an audience of 400 people at Carnegie Mellon University to deliver a last lecture called Really Achieving Your Childhood Dreams. His occasion was not a happy one, for he was diagnosed with terminal illness. Although I have borrowed his idea of a last lecture, mine is given during a much more promising time in my life and in yours. I hope today to provide the class of 2013 with my last lecture, since I too am graduating this year in the form of my retirement after 36 years of service at the Blackstone Millville Regional High School. Thank you. My agenda for today's lesson includes all of the essential ingredients we expect teachers to employ each day in their classrooms. A quick start assignment, the lesson itself, and today's will be on the importance of good work ethic, and closure with homework. Yes, you heard me, I said homework. As every student knows, however, teachers sometimes digress during their lectures or activities, and I am no exception, as many BMR students can attest to. So I apologize in advance if my lesson becomes interrupted by anecdotes or inside jokes or well-worn expressions of mine. Class, knock it off. Here I go already. I promised some of my students that I would fit that in somehow. First, a quick start. Since you did not bring a notebook or an iPad with you tonight, I want you instead to simply think of 3 things you appreciated while you passed through the halls of BMR these 4 years. I'll give you a minute. Okay, time's up. Rather than you share out, because that could become a bit messy, let me part with some of my own thoughts on that same topic. As many of you know, I myself am a graduate of BMR. In June of 1970, the old Blackstone High School on Main Street, now the site of the Blackstone Library, closed its doors and the class of 72 entered a brand new Blackstone Millville Regional High School as juniors. I was part of that class. Let me tell you 3 things we appreciated and took for granted here at the new school. Number 1, roofs that did not leak. Sorry about that joke, it's getting old, but I think I just felt a drop. Number two, not having to take standardized tests like MCAS to graduate. And number 3, fortunately, the fact that our school district did not have a need for a lockdown procedure. Times have really changed. But we also did not have a football team, volleyball, tennis, a fitness center, pep rallies, bonfires, parades, or a sound system belting out tunes at lunchtime, or senior privileges. We did not have the technology we have today here at the high school because it simply did not exist. Computers, smartboards, iPads, the BMR News, our own YouTube station, student blogs, and a Facebook page. Wow. We did not have the amount of extracurricular activities and opportunities you enjoy. School to career with opportunities like Job Shadow, Career Fair, and internships, all of which gave you snapshots of what types of careers are waiting for you after high school or college. Speaking of interns, Mitchell Moss and Adam Wood, I'm still waiting for your timesheets for March, April, May. My own intern, Hillary, just reminded me before the ceremony to check on that, but I digress. We certainly did not have common planning time for teachers to create curriculum and share best practices or compare common assessment data. Whether you realize it or not, these two are great accomplishments at our school. We did not have students and parents involved in the decision-making process through a principal's council or school council. And finally, we did not have the award-winning band that we have today, known for its greatness all over New England and the rest of the East Coast. Let's hear it for them again. I bet many of you had some of those same items on your list from our Quick Start assignment. Today, the students at Blackstone Millville Regional can be proud of not only what they do have, but also what they have helped to bring to our great school. This particular class has been a big part of that. I'd like to thank you. Now for the lesson on my agenda. Today I'm going to discuss work ethic. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, work ethic is defined as the belief in work as a moral good. I like to think of it as doing the best possible job you can with great initiative and drive. A few years ago, I read a book by Larry Winget titled, it's called Work for a Reason. Winget is known as the pit bull of personal development, and his words really brought home to me many of my own pet peeves about working. Upon completion of reading the book, I formulated some of my own advice about work. Class, whatever you'll end up doing next or after college, please follow some very simple rules. They all involve having good work ethic. Know that each day you are doing the best work you possibly can do. If you can tell yourself that, I promise you will go home quite often feeling satisfied. Work collaboratively with co-workers and bosses to reach short and long-term goals effectively and efficiently. Voice your opinions and show that initiative I talked about earlier. Be one of the first to arrive on the job rather than racing in at the last minute. You need that time to get ready for the day's work. Are you listening, Ray, Tebow, and Shelby? Be the one who is willing to put in the extra time after the workday to attend meetings, to assist or mentor a colleague, or to simply ready yourself for the next day. Ask yourself often, what else can I do to make my work more meaningful for myself or for others? It will mean taking work home, nights, weekends, but know that the extra time you put into your work will pay you back with readiness and less stress during the workday. Don't abuse the amount of sick days given to you. Someday you may really need them. And when you find the job you really enjoy, show it. It may rub off onto others. There have been times during my tenure here where an occasional colleague, present company excluded, would say to me as I ascended the front steps on a Monday morning, "Is it Friday yet?" It took everything out of me not to trip him down the stairs. If you become that person at your job, ask yourself, what am I doing here? This must not be where I belong, and then move on, seriously. Now let's you and I borrow further lessons from some of the dynamic characters we studied from some of the best literature here at BMR. Shakespeare taught us well. Remember Friar Lawrence's words to Romeo when he agreed to marry him and Juliet in hopes of ending the feud between the Capulets and the Montagues? Romeo was still impatient and wanted everything to come to him quickly. Friar said to him, wisely and slow, They stumble that run fast, I'm sorry. That's from Act 2, Scene 3. So I say to you, do not expect everything to come to you as quickly as you wish it would. You too may have to work for it and be patient. But trust me, hard work and perseverance will pay off in the end. From my own experience, my first 2 years of teaching did not come easy for me. Some of your parents or aunts and uncles out there could tell you that. They drove me crazy. My first 2 years, crazy. And I know they're out there, I see you. But I said to myself, am I going to let a few knucklehead seniors bring me down? No. Nope. After much practice and fortitude, I forged ahead and became the teacher I knew I could be. Do you remember in Hamlet, Polonius' advice to his son Laertes before he goes off to the university? Polonius says after a litany of other orders, "This above all else, to thine own self be true." Act 1, Scene 2. By true, he means loyal to your own best interests. Take care of yourself first, he counsels, and that way you'll be in a position to take care of others. Arthur Miller's Willie Loman from Death of a Salesman had it all wrong when he told his sons that to be successful you had to be well-liked and the most popular. Remember, however, it was his neighbor Bernard who went off to plead cases before the Supreme Court, while Willie's boys found nothing satisfying in their own lives. It was Bernard who had the best work ethic, and it did not matter that his father did not brag about it, or that Bernard was not the best athlete or the most popular in school. Everyone's favorite short story of the 9th grade curriculum is without a doubt The Scarlet Ibis. Am I right? Scarlet Ibis? James Hurst tells a tale of two young brothers, one nicknamed Doodle, who is physically challenged, and the other who spends 2 years forcing his brother to learn to not only walk but to run and to swim. His gain, however, was personal. His goal was to have his brother be normal for the first day of school, so as not to embarrass him. In the end, when Doodle dies of exhaustion, it is the narrator who learned a hard lesson. Do not let personal pride lead to injustices toward those you love, or to tie into our theme tonight, even toward those with whom you work. Finally, Atticus Finch in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird says, "Real courage is when you know you're licked before you begin. But you begin anyway and see it through no matter what." End of quote. We sometimes develop a defeatist attitude prohibiting us from even trying a task. I want to add to Atticus's remarks and say, when in doubt, grab the bulls by the horn and get busy. Then you can never say to yourself later, "I should have at least tried." This applies to our lesson on work ethic again. If I had given up on my first experiences teaching, I would have missed out on a very satisfying career. Now allow me to digress. The class of 2013 and I have a lot in common. We have enjoyed this year knowing that much of what we did was a last here at BMR. Our last first day of school. Our last pep rally, where you guys lost the banner contest, but, to sophomores no less, but you won the tug of war. You also got another chance to see our faculty and staff sing their hearts out and then get pied in the face. Our last sporting events as players or spectators. Our last prom, where I was one of the braver chaperones to storm the dance floor with Mr. Duchamp to break up some very close dancers. Sorry, Key and Farmer. There were others. There were lots of others. I don't remember the others' names. But can BMR kids groove? Wow. Teddy, you were incredible in the dance-off. The Ivory Coast, move over. We have you now. And your sister Nellie. Our last bunk days. I say days, plural, because you took 2, not just 1. And I took more than that. We have recently cleaned out our lockers, in your case 4 years worth of stuff, mine 36, almost enough to need a U-Haul. We have said goodbye to students, teachers, support staff, and administrators, and we have become anxious as to what we will do next. Many of you, as Mr. Dudek said, will enter college, the military, or the workforce come September, and for some of you, and for me, We just are not sure yet. We will, however, use our experiences from BMR to guide us to our next turn on our journey forward. Before ending my last lecture, I would like to share some of my most recent rewarding memories, all of which happen to involve this class. My 12 AP students charging into my room following their 3-hour-long test next door with hands raised high and thumbs up, knowing they could not legally talk about the test for 48 hours, which I think is ridiculous. They instead gave me the signal of conquering that monster test. My last National Honor Society meeting with the seniors, B203 was filled with energy and excitement as 100% of the membership showed up and on time. Being naive, I of course thought the energy came from a culmination of all their hard work and service throughout the year. My excitement was soon dashed when Mariah began the 7 a.m. meeting, gathering by reminding the seniors that it was their last meeting. When I looked in the back of the room, all I could see was Kevin, Mitchell, and Marshall high-fiving each other and doing one of these. Yes! I know the early morning meetings were tough, but you are part of one of the best NHS memberships the school has seen in recent years. Then there was the group hug I received at the NHS offices, Mariah, Emily, Brianna, Nick, and Anna, a couple of weeks ago as they left the auditorium after pulling off the induction ceremony without a hitch. Now, there are 5 future leaders of America. The senior class officers coming to my room. The senior class officers coming to my room 4 weeks ago to ask me to be the keynote speaker for tonight's ceremony, only to be locked down 2 seconds later during yet another drill. Mrs. Callahan's English students hosting 2 candidates for a certain English position that has come up. During the peak of senioritis, they sat through 2 poetry lessons and then the next day provided me and Mrs. Callahan with meaningful and valuable advice on the 2 candidates. They actually had a say in who would replace me. I found that exciting. Being invited to ride on the zombie float with fellow retirees Russ Arnold and Denise Morell during the senior parade a couple of weeks ago. How appropriate was that? Zombie float. And listening to some very creative writers from my last time share their final poems and stories at Mr. Podium. Scott Davies, your writing is wicked sick. For anyone older than us graduates, that means we loved it. Scott's writing, along with several of his peers, too many to mention, from this senior class are among some of the best I have seen in my career. Please send me a copy of your first anthology of short fiction, guys. I'm serious. I think I can say for myself and for the seniors that leaving BMR is bittersweet. We have enjoyed our stay here, but we are ready to commence something new. So for now, students, put your lists away. Put your lists away. Take out your agendas and copy down your homework. Take out your agendas and copy down your homework. I want your last assignment at BMR to be the following. Do not leave the grounds after the ceremony until you return to the cafeteria and have thanked your teachers, coaches, administrators, and most importantly, your parents and guardians. For they are, as cliche as this may sound, the ones who guided you through this 13 or 14 or 15-year journey. Before I leave, I would like to publicly thank the seniors for having me speak today, my colleagues and administrators for all of our collaboration to make BMR a more productive and safe place for our students, and most of all, for my wife, Barbara, and daughter, Erin, for the many years of support and patience they provided me with while I sat for endless hours preparing assignments, grading papers, and telling my many, many anecdotes of my school days at BMR. And now my last quote, this one again from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Thank you and good luck to the class of 2013.
Thank you, Mr. Campo. We will now begin the presentation of diplomas by Superintendent Ms. Kimberly Shaverhood, Principal Mr. Michael Dudek, and Vice Principal Mr. Keith Ducharme.
And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Jennifer Morrison, Valedictorian, National Honor Society, High Honors. Anna Christina Franciosa, Salutatorian, National Honor Society, High Honors. Kevin Gautreaux, Class President, National Honor Society, High Honors. Zachary St. Amant, Vice President of the Class, Honors. Matthew Osborne, Class Secretary, Honors. Mitchell John Lockwood, Class Treasurer, National Honor Society, High Honors.
Good luck, buddy. Braylon Marie Allen, Class Historian, National Honor Society, Honors. Lily Opavan, Class Public Relations, Student Council, Honors. Kayla Abel. Precious Aguilar. Nicholas Charles Angel, National Honor Society, High Honors. Peter James Arquetto, Student Council. Kiana Kelly Yvonne Arias.
Where's the corner?
Pick it out.
Amy Aronson. Emily Morgan Barkley, National Honor Society, High Honors. Brianna Genevieve Bellin, National Honor Society, Student Council, Honors. Jason Billington. Sam Boxhold. Kelsey Broder. Caitlin Mae Brown. Alan Buto. Catherine Cardone, National Honor Society Honors. Brandon Carr. Rebecca Jean Carroll. Orlando Castro. Brittany Lynn Shabbat, Student Council Honors. Sydney Champeau. Kaylee Syak, Honors. Hillary Karen Clow, Honors. Michael L. Calamati. Corey J. Cooper.
Good luck, buddy.
Ryan A. Cooper. Kyle Coop. Alicia Ann Canoia, Honors. Nicholas Sebastian Crivello.
Thank you.
Stephanie Marie Crivello, Honors Student Council. Kristen Croto, honors. Anthony James Culleton. Brittany Lynn Cunningham. Tony Marie Daly.
Good luck, Tony.
Drew Allen Dano.
Thank you.
Devin Davies. Scott Davies. Brianna Nicole Davis. Zachary Tyler Demrist. Alexandria Jodell DePaulo, National Honor Society, High Honors, Student Council. Holly Desitels, National Honor Society, Honors.
And one heck of a school stalwart.
Christopher H. Dill, Honors. Sarah Catherine Dombrowski. Lindsay Page Dowling, Honors. Amanda Lynn Duquesnoy, Honors. Kelly E. Dwyer. Courtney Marie Erdman. Harmony Q. Estabrook, Honors. Jocelyn Jill Fallon. Kian Farmer. School committee member Mr. Faulkner presenting to his son Ian M. Faulkner. Nicholas James Fenoff. Kayla Elizabeth Fernandez, National Honor Society, High Honors. Brendan Colin Fitzgerald. Zachary Fugier. Teddy Gotti Honors. Jacqueline Nicole Gallo, President Student Council, Honors. Taylor Alexandria Gatchell. Alexandra Faye Gonzaga, Honors. Alicia Marie Griffin, Honors, Student Council. Carrie Ann Gross. Samantha Ashley Hamill. Benjamin Hanfield. Alexandra Hoppin. Elizabeth Ann Hoppin. Derek Heldenberg, Honors. And the best DJ ever. Nicholas James Bartholomew Hurd. Jacob Harris. Christopher Heiser. Smile, Chris, smile. Great job. Michael Robert Howard, Student Council. Asa Hurd, honors. Kayla Marie Jankowski. Congratulations. Jacqueline Jones. Kelsey Gale Keith. Amanda Key. Congratulations, Amanda. Naomi Jean Cavalli. Ryan M. Landry. Kevin E. Lapierre, Jr. Corey Constance Laren. Cameron Kane Larson. Jennifer LePage, National Honor Society, Student Council, high honors. Adam Kevin Lubitsky. Shelby Mayorana, honors. I'm getting hot. Marshall Spear Maltese, National Honor Society, honors. Stephanie Megan McNeely. Andrew R. Messier, honors. Christopher Moniz. Mariah Munson, President, National Honor Society, high honors. Alexis Morin. I get home. Nicholas Morin. Congratulations, Nick. Mallory Morse, National Honor Society, honors. Mitchell Morse. Matthew David Nordquist, honors. Anthony Notarantonio. Joshua David Odom, honors. Patty Opavon, honors, student council. Caitlin M. Parento. Harsh J. Patel, honors. Sadie Marie Plant. Samuel Poirier. Corey Pollock. Julia Pontonio. Benjamin Thomas Rafus. Emily Marie Reed. Erica Remoulade, National Honor Society, honors. Brittany Stormroy, National Honor Society, Student Council, high honors. Dylan James Ryan. Congratulations, Dylan. Samantha Marie Scaduto, National Honor Society, Student Council, honors. Lauren Page Simard, Student Council. Ashley Smith. You got a smile. Cariana Lynn Smith. Congratulations. Matthew Spaminato. Back Good luck. Congratulations. Katie L. Spearman, honors. Katara Elizabeth Stimson. Rebecca Mackenzie Stone. Justina Eve Strickodds, National Honor Society, high honors. Victoria Kazimira Chapanik. Angela Gabrielle Tavick, honors. Courtney Lynn Tavalone. Jessica Lynn Therian, National Honor Society, Student Council, high honors. Ray Tebow. Ashley Dawn Tilton, honors. Nicholas Robin James Torval. Chelsea Genevieve Turcott. Victoria Rose Vadenbunker.
Did I get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Kimberly Varys. Amelia Ruth Walcott.
Smile.
Jonathan R. Williams. Adam Wood. Nicholas John Yanoski Honors.
No, down the other one, on the other end.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2013. It is now my privilege to introduce the class president, Mr. Kevin Gaudreau.
Thank you, Mr. Ducharme. Members of the school committee, Mr. Shaverhood, honorable attendees, Mr. Dudek, Mr. Ducharme, Mr. Arnold, faculty, parents, and students, welcome. We are gathered here at Blackstone-Millville Regional High School on the 7th of June to celebrate not the conclusion of high school, but rather rejoice over great times spent here. These great times hold memories that we will forever cherish as we go on to another part of our lives. This isn't a time that will forever be in our past, but rather we are turning the page in a book of our lives that we'll forever flip back to, rereading the details of our years together. We all heard our senior song, Don't You Forget About Me, played by the high school band under the direction of Buddy Bebo. Many may know this song to be popularized by the movie The Breakfast Club. I feel that this movie surely fits as an allegory to our graduating class of artists, athletes, intellects, and much more. For those of you who aren't familiar with the movie, it opens with 5 high school students at a Saturday detention. They all embody certain stereotypes: the athlete, the criminal, the princess, the basket case, or the brain. It is known that every high school has different types of students with certain qualities, such as the athlete, like Matt Nordquist, the brain, like Scott Davies, or the criminal, like nobody in our senior class, of course. However, we found each other to be much more than that as individuals. At first, though, we only knew our classmates as such and wouldn't know otherwise until we got closer as the years progressed. As seen in the movie, we're also shy and afraid to open up to each other. However, as the movie goes along, just as our time together as a class has, the characters begin to share details about themselves. They discover things about each other aside from things they would only know from their appearances or reputation. The athlete was now shown to be sensitive and kind. The criminal was now shown to be selfless and enlightening. The basket case was now shown to be outgoing and funny. Watching these students in the movie, I couldn't help but see how this was true of our graduating class as well. Just as the characters in the movie start to disprove their stereotypes, our graduating class has done the same thing. Although everyone in the class has something about them that they are known for, it's just a small part of their personality. We are all unique individuals who should be known for more than just one thing. Spending these years together help promote the individual in his or her uniqueness. After all this time spent together, we know everyone for who they truly are and not for what they seem to be. From personal experience, I remember people always knowing me as just the kid who would turn bright red from blushing when presenting in front of classes. And here I am now. People don't just know me as the kid who blushes. Instead, they call me Alien Boy because I happen to think aliens are real, something I stand by with today. There are better stories, though, where people were able to break out and show how great they are, and were able to show everyone their unique qualities. We now know that we have the singers in Carrie Gross and Sam Boxhold, the dancers in Brianna Davis and Teddy Gotti, the most dramatic in Bree Bellin and myself, the most accident-prone in Matt Osborne, even though he's never broken a bone or got stitches. Yeah. These are just titles and small things to be known for, and we know we are more than just that. Being around people for so long forces you to get to know everyone, but this can only take you so far. As a group of friends, we not only took interest in our classmates, but also formed bonds forged by memorable moments. Here are some of these memorable moments, ranging from the good, the bad, and the ugly. How could we forget Derek Hildenberg, who is not just an artist, but a genuinely nice person? I mean, I know him as a genuinely nice person because he would always slightly angle his desk in English class so I could watch him draw for an entire period. Then there are people like Matt Osborne who, aside from unjustly winning the superlative accident-prone, does not need to appear in a dress again after seeing him at senior pep rally, senior parade, Halloween day. Seriously, Matt, you need to stop. There's also Kiriana Smith passing out in Mrs. Waterman's freshman Spanish class as Zach set him on his feet. Maybe it was her way of flirting as a freshman, but we'll never know. There was also Josh Odom and the rest of the alto sax section playing Sexy Sax Man over and over and over. We've seen Mitch Glockwood's biceps grow faster than Mrs. V's anger when someone walks up the LMC stairs as a shortcut. We've been able to tell the difference between the Cooper twins and also the Opervons, something that's taken years to master. There was also the rise of the football team, which had a great opening year and made the school proud. And then there are the other milestones of our class. There's the marching band bringing home countless gold medals, various sports teams getting into districts, NHS making huge contributions to the entire BMR community, and then great participation in class fundraisers that ultimately led us to be the richest class in BMR history. But I must say, our advisor, Mr. Arnold, does need a thanks and a round of applause for his part in this as well. Mr. Arnold gave up countless hours working with everyone to make sure we had everything in check and running smoothly. When we had a Yankee Candle fundraiser, out of the $3,000 profit, Mr. Arnold single-handedly sold enough to make $1,400 through his sales. To put that in terms of candles, that's a heck of a lot of candles, but I digress. We know things that make each and every one of us more than just an athlete, just a singer, or just an artist. We know we are more than just that. The movie ends with the reading of an essay that was assigned during these 5 students' detentions, which answered the question prompted by the teacher, "Who do you think you are?" And it read as follows. Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. What we did was wrong. But we think you're crazy to have us make an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms, in the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that in each and every one of us is a brain, and an athlete, and a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. Does that answer your question, Mr. Vernon? To conclude my speech, I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of our class who made our years in the school district as wonderful as they were. I know that I wouldn't personally be where I am without my family, and I'd like to thank my mom, dad, and brothers, Dano and T-Bone. Remember, graduating class of 2013. Look beyond people's reputations and appearances, because after our years together, we know that everyone has something hidden that makes them unique and special. Thank you. I'd also, going back to freshman year, Mr. Arnold mentioned that that upon graduation he would get a tattoo that says 13, but he doesn't have it yet. So, as a gift by the class officers, we got a gift certificate to the local tattoo shop. And we'll see you there this weekend. Thank you.